Hi guys, and welcome to Andover Central Biology. This this tutorial is going to cover our online textbook. And yes, the biology courses have an online textbook, so no more lugging around that 30-pound biology book. Okay, so we've got a couple of goals during this tutorial. These objectives are going to be to locate the biology textbook online, identify and compare the resources that are available, and practice using the online textbook as a study tool. So a couple things that you need before we begin. We need to make sure that our pop-ups are enabled in our browser and that PowerSchool login information, we have access to our PowerSchool login information. So feel free to pause the video at any time. I will tell you that the directions are going to be over here on the left. The screencast is going to be over here on the right. And so you'll be able to see both, and you can pause at any time to catch up. And so feel free to log in, to open your browser, and let's go ahead and navigate to our school's homepage. All right, so at achs.usd385.org, okay, this is where we're going to be able to, or we're going to start our search for our online textbook. All right. Remember that the PowerSchool information has to be your own, and so we're going to come over here to the upper right-hand corner where it says PowerSchool, and we're going to go ahead and click on PowerSchool. Okay, and for this tutorial, what I've done is I've actually had a student volunteer to let me use their login information, so I'm going to plug that in right now. Be sure that you're paying attention to caps lock and type very carefully because it is case sensitive. And so I do believe I've got the correct username and password in there. Let's go ahead and sign in. And, oh, so I must have had a mistake. Let's try this again. 2, 0, okay. Let's go to, and let's try this. So we have, all right. And so let's give her another shot. I hope that never happens to you. But what we're going to do, let me get a tool real quick over here. I'm going to add a little black box so that we don't have to worry about that person's grades. Let me get my arrow back. And you're very familiar with what's underneath the black box. You've got your grades and your attendance. But what you might not be familiar with is down here in the lower left-hand lower left-hand pane, you have a link called Pearson Courses. All right, go ahead and select Pearson Courses for me. Okay, and at this point, you're going to be given an option to choose the products that have been assigned to you. All right, and you want to choose Biology 2010 National Mainstream. All right, so here's our home page. You have your textbook that is available to you is this one in the upper right-hand corner. Go ahead and click on Open Book. Okay, this gives you a new window, and I'm going to just kind of resize this so it kind of fits in our screen. Okay, feel free when you're doing this to have the video running over here, and maybe you have your textbook open over here. So as you can see, this is the cover of the textbook that's in class. There's going to be 4 things I'm going to show you real quick. The first one is the view. So if I am in a chapter that we're looking at here, I'm going to just go to chapter 7. I can view the page as a single page or as a double page, just like when I open a textbook. And so either one is going to be perfectly acceptable. This is a preference only kind of thing. All right, we also have navigation arrows and page numbers. So you can flip through the pages like this, just like you would with a textbook, where it's going to show you 2 sides, or you can navigate to a certain page that you want to find. So for example, I wanted to go to page 206, 207, and then I'm going to turn the page one more. Okay, so I'm on 7.3 cell transport, and maybe this is my reading assignment for tonight. All right, another tool that's helpful in our textbook is our vocabulary and pronunciation. So any highlighted word over here is not only going to have a glossary definition associated with it, but you can also press on this microphone, or actually it looks like a little speaker, and it will pronunciate the word for you. So for all of us who have seen some biological terms that might not be the easiest to pronounce, we're going to be able to hear someone pronounce them for us, okay, and give us the definition as we read. Another helpful part or helpful tool in the textbook is the highlighter tool. And so we come up here, let's say we're reading through something and we see a vocabulary term or maybe a concept. We're going to select a highlighter and we're going to be able to go through and highlight that sentence or maybe that concept. Okay, and those will get saved saved in your account. Okay, so looks like we've covered the first objective. We located the biology book, and you even got a quick tutorial on what we can do inside the biology book. Let's go and see what is available in the on the website. And so I'm going to close out of this window, and you can see I'm back here after my linked account to my Pearson Power School. And I can see that there is a website. It's called biology.com. So what is biology.com? Okay, basically, this is going to be our interactive resources. So we have two things we can do. We can explore, or we have a to-do list. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Explore tab. Okay, so I'm going to go, I went ahead too many, sorry. Okay, I'm going to start with the Explore tab. So I click on Explore. And here I have a table of contents. So I'm just going to go back to my chapter 7.3 just because I've already seen what it looks like in the textbook form. So now let's see what it looks like in the online version. Okay, so I'm going to go, I thought I already clicked it, I apologize, chapter 7, 7.3. And so now we have these interactives. And so these are going to be lesson overviews. You can do certain simulations or activities. You can also take practice assessments over each one of those lessons. The science department loves to take questions out of these practice assessments, and so that would be a helpful tool when studying. And so make sure that you're looking at that. Also, on the overviews, I'm going to go ahead and show you one real quick. On the activities, you can look at simulations. Okay, so let's say there was a topic covered in class you didn't quite understand. Maybe the teacher drawing wasn't very clear, and so what you do is you come in here, you read the instructions, and they're basically going to do a simulation with you. And so you're going to click on, say, protein pumps, and then you're going to watch how protein pumps work in the cell membrane. All right, which maybe you were, something was explained in class so you didn't quite understand. So now you can come here and you can look at the tutorial. Very helpful material. Okay, the other thing that we can do from biology.com is look at your to-do list. And so if we go under the My Work tab and click on To Do, okay, you can see that you've been assigned a certain amount of resources. Okay, in this case, it's going to be chapter 7, and I'm going to look at the different the different resources available. So I've got some real-world connections with science, or with this content. I've got a vocabulary review, and I have yet again another practice assessment. So let's look at these assigned tasks. Or excuse me, we will look at these assigned tasks later. Okay, so we've identified and compared, so we can see what the difference is between Chapter 7 online versus Chapter 7 in our online textbook. So now let's look at these resources in depth. So how can I use these to study? Well, for example, the vocabulary review for each section, it has a couple of different options. They have flashcards and the Match It game. Okay, both are very helpful, both are very useful, but in the past, a lot of students have preferred the Match It game. So we're going to go ahead and select Match It. Okay, and once you get started, you're going to notice that this seems a lot like a memory game. Okay, if you guys remember that from when you were a lot younger, probably, you flip over the card and you try to match the term with its definition. And so what I want to do is give you a little bit of time to practice. And so you're going to go through and you are going to flip the cards over by clicking on them, and you're going to match the term with its definition. It's going to keep track of score for you. You have 60 attempts, and there are 2 rounds. But what I want to do is after you're done with the game, or what I would like for you to do is after you're done with the game, I want you to take a screenshot of your score of this screen, and I want you to email it to me at this address. And so to take a screenshot, you need to press Control and then the multiple screens key. It used to be an F5 key. So in your Chromebook, you've got Control and then the 5th function key. And then you're going to email that screenshot to this email address on the screen. Okay, good luck. Have fun with the game, and I hope this tutorial was